fact that they didn't say anything about it.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Fort Thomas Planning Commission this evening. On our agenda this evening is a review of past meeting minutes from May and June of this year, as well as subdivision of lots 2 and 3 on Katsie Court in Fort Thomas. And that's it. Did anybody have a chance to review the meeting minutes from May or June?
Yeah, I looked at them. It talked about the issues we discussed last meeting, but it didn't talk about any resolution. Was that intentional?
It was. There was really not a resolution. The only question I guess I had is, since it was a joint meeting with council, do they need to also, can we approve the minutes independently from them?
Well, I think it was a planning commission meeting in that particular case. So I think let's do our part, and then if we need to do some other due diligence, we'll figure that out. But it was a planning commission at the planning commission regularly scheduled meeting. So I'm thinking along those lines.
Mm-hmm. There's a discussion about whether or not council even has to do minutes for that. I think have an abundance of caution, they will.
Okay. Well, I did review them. I'll make a motion to accept the planning commission meetings of Wednesday, June 19th.
In May 15th.
Oh, it's May 15th in there.
Yeah.
It was two of them. Was I at both those?
Yeah.
Yeah, May 15th and 15th.
Well, let me take a quick look at that one.
Anybody else have any
Oh, that
questions?
was the land division question. Did we ever get, one of those survey corners was not set on the plan.
It turned out it was a tree, as we discussed. I think and he explained that in the email very specifically. And I think there was one other issue that we corresponded.
The legend didn't correspond to the.
Yeah, we had discussed those, and everything was corrected. But yeah, it was a tree that was on that one corner. That's what caused that.
Okay. Well, then I'll amend my motion to include the May 15th meeting.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
So ordered. Next up is a plat for resubdivision of lots 2 and 3 at the Katsie Court subdivision off of Newman Avenue. Drees owns is the developer, and Viox is the applicant.
So the only thing here, it literally is the modification of an easement in the back of these two lots. The rationale, the house that was going to be built on one or the other lot, and the accommodating, I think there was an accessory structure they wanted to put back there, namely a pool. And this slight modification was to accommodate a house and modification / pool. So that's literally all it is just a slightly modified easement on these two lots.
So it's really not a re-subdivision.
I didn't know what to call it.
I'm not trying to be a nitpicker.
Right.
But when it said re-subdivision, I was trying to find out what changed, and it didn't look like it.
Well, and I didn't know what to call it. I thought it was the best thing to call it as far as you don't typically put modification on. I didn't really know what to put on there.
Yeah.
Or had them put on there.
So I was just trying to remember, is that a ditch or is there a storm sewer there? Or?
So there's a storm sewer there. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's both. Like a portion of this is an actual drainage easement, but there is a storm sewer in that area. My assumption is that they couldn't tweak it significantly because of the storm sewer.
That's what I was wondering.
Right, and that's why it doesn't change that much. But I think it was actually a combination, if I'm not mistaken, in this particular case. Well, yeah, it says surface drainage easement there, actually on there. The actual easement for the manhole might have been a little bit further to the east.
Okay.
Kevin, can you also talk to, like, if you look at lot 1, I assume the easement on lot 1 is still, it would still connect with that old location. So how are they addressing that? Because obviously those two easements aren't in the same space, right? So
I think that might be where the easement actually starts. I don't think there is anything on lot 1.
I think lot one's graded towards Newman.
Yeah.
And it kind of breaks back from there.
And it doesn't really start, I think that's really where the easement actually starts, is between lot 1 and 2.
Okay.
So has this already been previously recorded with the old easement? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't read it too well because the lettering is so small, but is it obvious when you get into it which one's the existing one and which one's the new one?
The one does say existing surface drainage easement. It depicts that. And then the other one does show the 10-foot surface drainage easement.
Yeah, from the labeling, you can kind of figure out which one's which, but they did use the same line type.
Jerry, I'm using the file. Is there another way you can?
I'm to that point where I'm recognizing this a little bit more. I sympathize. I'm starting to sympathize now.
Exactly.
Well, when it says 10-foot surface drainage easement revised for this plat, and then it has an arrow, that means that's the new location.
Right.
Okay.
And then the other one shows the one to be released. Do you actually have the full-size plat for me to sign now, or is that going to be later?
It was just a re-subdivision of these 2 lots, so I think it was just going to be this. I don't know if we were going to totally redo the entire.
Okay, I should know. Because we put signature down.
Right.
Yeah. I don't feel like I have any other questions, really.
There's not a meets and bounds description of the easement, though. It's just kind of,
Yeah, and I don't know that there was before. I don't know that there needs to be generally for easements.
it's
It's
kind of odd they would change it then if it's not really described. That's right.
I kind of did this as over precaution,
Yeah.
in all honesty. But we had to approve the minutes, and I thought, let's just knock it out. You're right. You're exactly right, and I thought of that myself, and just maybe I'm being a little overcautious.
That's better than the Yeah.
I usually err on the side of caution, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the re-subdivision of lots 2 and 3 of Katsie Court subdivision, section 1.
I'll second.
Does anybody else any questions or comments? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of the approval of the submitted final subdivision plat application, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so ordered. Anything else?
Don't have anything else. Got an easement tonight.
Meeting still planned for the 31st?
31st. We'll get you a reminder email out here in probably early next week, just to remind everybody. But yes, 31st at 6:30 here.
Has council met since then and talked about any of these issues?
Not to my knowledge. I think the idea is to come back and hash it out. And I don't know if they've put that on the agenda of the council meetings. I haven't been attending. I don't attend council meetings. So I don't know if it's been discussed.
They did meet on Monday, but they didn't get into any specifics of the agenda for the next time.
They all pretty much indicated that they've had individual conversations with citizens. I think a couple of them may have talked together, but there's been no quorum and discussion within a quorum setting.
I'll get a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We didn't do it, Tim. We have a motion to adjourn. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for your